From the moment the candidate enters the yard, the Navy becomes his world, states a quote from Kendall Banning's 1957 novel titled Annapolis Today. Who is this candidate, you may wonder? He or she is an officer in training, and as they walk onto the academy, they're preparing themselves to embark on their biggest adventure up to now, which is the next 4 years at the United States Naval Academy, as well as the service owed after. A midshipman will put everything he has into the Navy, making a lifestyle out of the discipline and traditions. The Naval Academy is a very important asset to my hometown of Annapolis, as well as to the members of my family, and my speech will touch on the early history of this military establishment and how it has since developed into what it is today. From the outside looking in, it's impossible to appreciate the importance of these unique traditions without first learning about the history of the Academy itself. So first, I'm going to touch on why the Naval Academy was formed. It was first in 1794 that an act of Congress created the U.S. Navy. A few years later, in 1800 actually, was the first suggestion for a naval school, which was made by John Adams, the second president. But why was the need for it? According to Mame Warren, in her book, Everybody Works But John Paul Jones, the education of naval officers at the time was pretty insufficient. It was left primarily up to opportunities aboard a ship or others that were scattered throughout the whole country, and these available instructors weren't very competent to teach navigation, ordnance, gunnery, and other naval subjects. So if these individual ship captains were not proving sufficient in the systematic training of the aspiring officers, then what could the Navy do to better this operation? Well, this will give us a look into a brief history of the Naval Academy itself. It was in 1845 that the practically deserted post of Fort Severn, which lies between the Severn River and the Annapolis Harbor, that site was urged as the creation of a naval school. In the same year, the Naval School at Annapolis was formed on October 10th, and it was founded by George Bancroft, who was the Secretary of the Navy at that time. It wasn't until July 1st of 1850 that it was actually called the United States Naval Academy and the 4-year curriculum was established. Mame Warren notes in her book that the Naval Academy expanded with many land purchases at that time, increasing its amount of acres throughout Annapolis over the years. And I chose this picture from her book as my visual aid to show you what the Naval Academy looked like back at that time, which is very different than today, because today it covers more than 338 acres. Now, in Mame Warren's book, Then Again, Annapolis, she also notes that then, of course, a big attraction in Annapolis at the time was the Naval Academy. And although it's changed a lot since the 1900s, it still remains just as important to my hometown today. So what is the Naval Academy all about today? Well, first and foremost, it's very proud of its long-established traditions. I found out a lot about a lot of these traditions through the United States Naval Academy's federal website. Here they begin with Induction Day. Induction Day, also known as I-Day, is when the plebes are sworn in through the official oath of office. Following this is all the rigors that you will go through at the Naval Academy, which begins with Plebe Summer. During Plebe Summer, it's 7 weeks designed to turn the civilians into midshipmen. You're up before sunrise and you're in bed way past sunset. There's not enough hours in the day for all the activities that they put you through. You learn everything from seamanship to time management to self-discipline. After your plebe year, there's youngster, second class, and firstie, which is a senior. In the Naval Academy, rank comes with privilege through the classes. And when you discuss privileges, you also have to discuss discipline, which is very essential to a military academy such as the Naval Academy. At the Naval Academy, they classify privileges, or they classify discipline through A and B. For example, the most extreme form of punishment is complete dismissal from the Naval Academy itself. Now, on the other hand, something very important to the Naval Academy is their long-standing prideful traditions. First, I would like to talk about something called the plebe recognition ceremony, which is known as Herndon. At Herndon, all the plebes have to climb the 21-foot Herndon Monument, which is greased up with over 200 pounds of lard by the upperclassmen, and in which they have to climb on top of each other to retrieve a plebe hat from the top and switch it with an upperclassman hat as a rite of passage. Another very well-known tradition is the ring dance. The ring dance is for the second class members of the Naval Academy, in which they receive their official class rings. This is very different than other college experience for class rings because it's actually dipped into a bowl of water that has water from all of the 7 seas in it, and it symbolizes the wedding of them to the Navy. Last but not least, a very well-known tradition of the Navy is the Navy versus Army rivalry. This rivalry is best known in football, and it's been called the purest rivalry of all sports. Through this rivalry, you can see that athletics play a very big part in midshipman life at the Naval Academy. The Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium was opened back in 1959. The Navy itself has Division I in every sport, from football to lacrosse, basketball, soccer, anything you can think of. And don't forget their treasured mascot, Bill the Goat. According to the official website where I got this information from, there's also an important quote. Make no mistake, the 4 years at Annapolis are very challenging, tightly structured, and designed to push you well beyond what you think are your limits. Based on this above quote, in combination with the times in my life that I've heard my dad's Navy stories or those of my grandfather's, in combination with what research and time I've put into this speech, I realized that the biggest thing I've learned from this process is that no one can understand the Naval Academy until you go through it yourself. After all the 7 a.m. wake-up calls, the uniform checks, and physical activities, strenuous classes, not to mention living and learning with the timeless history and traditions, some may wonder, what is it all worth? A great quote from President John F. Kennedy in The Navy summarizes the essence of the Naval Academy perfectly, in my opinion, and this quote is as follows. I can imagine no more rewarding career, and any man with a good deal of pride and satisfaction I can imagine no more rewarding career, and any man who may be asked in this century what he did to make his life worthwhile, I think can respond with a good deal of pride and satisfaction, saying, I served in the United States Navy. In conclusion, the Naval Academy has grown in so many significant ways, from its humble beginnings at Fort Severn to its recent graduating class of 1,047 men and women this May of 2013, while always continuing to do what it does best, which is protect and serve our country.